I've been trying to remember where I've been and I'll figure it out. But today I'm here and I want to talk about my tattoos to anybody who wants to listen. Of late, I have felt this need to have a resource guide where I could lead people to every time they ask about my tattoos. And it's not because I don't enjoy talking about tattoos, I love talking about tattoos, but it's just that I think I have sucked out all the dopamine from talking about my tattoos. That's why I'm here today to talk all about my tattoos, the meanings behind my tattoos, the amazing artists who did them, the cost, and also what meaning do these have for me today? So let's get into it. So my very first tattoo was this circle on my inner forearm. I got it in 2018 and I got it done at Devilz Greater Kailash by Lokesh, who also happens to be the owner of the Devilz franchise across NCR. This tattoo cost me 2.1k. What it signifies is Karmfal. Whatever it is that you put out into the universe or into the world is what you're gonna get back. I was brought up repeatedly having been told about the concept of Karmfal. If you're doing bad with somebody or with yourself or just generally creating bad in the universe, it has nowhere to go but come and bite you back in the ass. And it's also so that if you're doing good, if you think you're on the right path as per your moral compass, it is very easy to lose track of your path if you don't get your results. Because that's what happened with me. When you feel like you're doing the right thing and you're putting in all that needs to go in as ingredients to finally get that whatever it is that you want, and it doesn't happen, it's easy to lose track. But in those moments, it's very important to remember that even all of the good that you do, it has nowhere to go but find its way back to you. You just have to stay on the right path. That's what a lot of us, including myself, are not able to do, but we should. My next tattoo was a sun on the other hand, and this is when I realized my love for symmetry, because I got it in the same spot on my left hand as my first tattoo on the right hand. Andrew from Devilz did this tattoo for me, and it cost me around 2.5 to 3,000 rupees. One day I woke up and took a blank piece of paper to my dad and I told him, make a sun on this. And he did. He drew a sun and I went ahead and got it tattooed. But I think the inspiration behind having a sun on my body came from my love for light. Well lit spaces instantly make me feel so good. And also I think 2019 was a time where I was all about live, love, laugh, or just seeing the positive out of everything. Since then, I have gone around my emotional world and I'm back, I think, at a spot where I want to see the positivity again. Also wanted to mention how amazingly Andrew did this tattoo. With a ballpoint pen, what happens is sometimes you'll use it, but the ink doesn't come out. So it has an engraving with a very light ink, but it's not fully there, so you redo over it. And that was present in the stencil, in the drawing that my dad had made and what I took to Andrew. And he was actually able to capture those finer lines along with the major lines. Now it's faded a little bit because it's been years, but one of my favorite tattoos. Moving on to my third and fourth tattoo, or just my third tattoo. I never know if I should count these separately or not, but basically I got slow down written on my hands. Aman from Devilz did this tattoo for me. What's special about this tattoo is that it's in the handwriting of a person who was very, very significant in my life at that point. And this person always just wanted me to slow down and live life. When I would get caught up with things emotionally or spiritually, they would just want me to slow down and have enough trust in me that I will figure it out, but just asking me to slow down. I've also said this before, but my tattoos are like reaffirmations for me. They're like little messages for myself. I do forget to look at them sometimes when I'm in the moment or if I'm really triggered or really fucked up. But slowing down is very important in life. But this is where the meaning has slightly evolved for me over the years. It's not just slowing down, but it's also running towards what you love. Balance. There's got to be a balance. Moving on to the fourth tattoo, which is a line on my left inner forearm, is actually a funny story because I was going in for another tattoo appointment but it ended up raining, and I think my tattoo artist got late or something happened wherein he felt like he kind of owed me a free tattoo, and I was happy because, like, free tattoos, hell yeah, let's go. What it signified for me at that point in time in 2021 when I got this tattoo was stability, man. And I think 2021 was the beginning of the madness. All I was chasing was stability. And the way that this has evolved for me now is this, that I've realized it's never going to be stable in a permanent state. It should never be stable in a permanent state, because then the monotony, man, I would die. But I would also die if I kept having all of the trials and tribulations. Bringing us back to the same point that there's got to be balance. I was actually thinking of adding some more lines right above the straight line. Maybe like a curly one, maybe one that's like a little jumbled, and then eventually have the flat line at the bottom to kind of show that it's always going to be like a spectrum of things, and it could be any of these, but the goal is to always come back to this, experience all of that, and then come back to this. Does that make sense? Please let me know in the comments if it makes sense. So my fifth tattoo is also one of the two biggest tattoos on my body yet. It's also my one and only colored piece yet. This is 2021. A very talented artist from Devilz called Varun had stenciled out these really cool looking designs on his story, and I decided I wanted to get it. Also, a tattoo like this with such precision and design and size at Devilz would cost you around like 60-70 grand, I think, if I'm not wrong. But this one only cost me like the studio fee, which was 2.5. It took us like 10-11 hours to get this done, and then unfortunately I traveled for a long time after that. Then Varun was traveling for a bit, and our schedules just never really aligned after 2021. So I have been roaming around the world for the last 3 years with this incomplete tattoo, and now I've made peace with the fact that it's okay to have an incomplete tattoo. Maybe I'm just supposed to not fit in. I don't know if I'm cooking things up in my brain just to like feel some relief from all the emotional turmoil. I don't know why I was having a cognitive stroke while talking about this tattoo, but what I meant to say is maybe I was supposed to have an incomplete tattoo. Okay, it was not part of my plans. Of course, nobody wants an incomplete tattoo, but that's what happened. And sometimes you kind of have to go with that and find the beauty in it. And not every situation warrants this. Not every situation will allow for you to see the beauty in it. But with this tattoo, Varun was super clear that this is his design. He's not looking to make any changes, and this is exactly what's going to be tattooed. So I had very little contribution when it comes to bringing this tattoo to life, and it didn't even get completed. But whatever I was left with, I really like, and I enjoyed the experience. So sometimes plans will fall through, but maybe that's how it's supposed to be. That's what this tattoo taught me. Sometimes I wish, what if I finished it? What would it look like? But someday, when the day will come, we'll know. Moving on to the one that I'm most nervous to talk about. Not really nervous, but life. So my next tattoo is the only one that I have not gotten done at Devilz. I was actually traveling in Himachal Pradesh in McLeodganj, and I saw a tattoo studio, and I just felt this very strong urge to get this tattoo. It is somebody's name on my right inner forearm who used to be a very important part of my life, and I don't regret it at all. People can cease to exist in your life because of things going a certain way. But if they're really your people, you never ever stop loving them. Just because something happened, it does not take away from all of the kindness that this person showed you, or like all of the love that this person had for you. And I'm not able to think like this for everyone. For some people, you mess up, you out. But then there are some people you often realize later in life wanted just your best and wanted you to succeed, and you just couldn't see it in that moment. Now that I look at it in hindsight, I think one of the reasons was also this, that I wanted this to serve as a reminder to always be that person who leaves a good impact on someone's life. And I cannot tell you how far away I have strayed from this goal. But in general, I want to do better. I think I've lived in that energy for too long. You fuck with me, I'll fuck you up. but I don't want to do that anymore, and I just want to let go. So that's something we will practice together. You will see me grow every single day now. And that's my little tattoo that was making me nervous for no reason. Moving on to my 7th tattoo, which is this gorgeous snake on my right arm. It was done by Miss DMT at Devilz and it cost me 16 grand. And what happened is that one day I just woke up and I was like, why do we hate snakes as a society? Nobody says anything good about snakes. And then I got to reading about it and I realized they have cultural significance, they have historic significance, they have mythological significance, they have spiritual significance. Snakes are the symbols for transformation, for being so fierce and for protection, which is why you'll see them in like carvings in holy places. And I was just like, as a society, we have just forgotten to look at all the good about snakes. And also like a lot of these other animals we look at or other things we look at, it's not like they don't have any bad in them. So I was living life with this idea in my mind that, yeah, snakes are cutie pies, they're nice. And one day I just ended up seeing a tattoo which was like a structure of a snake being wrapped around a hand, and I ended up taking a screenshot and sending it to my artist. And she custom made this design for me. As you can see, the first half of the snake looks like a regular snake with scales and it will bite. And the second half of the snake actually has flowers inside of it. It very nicely captures the duality of this creature and also the duality of all of us. If you think anything is innately good or innately bad, I think that's wrong. You know, because you're thinking in extremes. And this is exactly what my mind does. So just trying to see both sides to everything. The next tattoo, which is my 8th tattoo, is this heart with a flame on top of it on my left hand. Miss DMT again from Devilz did this. And this tattoo was free because it was my birthday gift. And this I got in 2023, which means last year. And the headspace I was in was such that I don't want a dull love anymore. Like, I want love that is passionate and real. Real love is when you love someone even when it's inconvenient for you to love them. And it's a very selfless thing. In this day and age, it's hard to yearn for that type of love and also give that love. I find myself to be in situations where I'm like, if I love this person a bit more, I could do more for them, or like I could be better to them. But then I cop out and I take the easy way out sometimes because it's hard. Real love is hard, but also feels like the easiest thing to do. In the last few years, I think have been running around and chasing things that I thought were love. Or like love in like the dumbest places, which now in hindsight with like a fully developed prefrontal cortex, I know was not there. Now, I'm slowly trying to be okay with not having it, but not settling for like a mediocre love. I don't want it. Okay? With that, we come to the last tattoo, which is also the 9th tattoo on my body. Happens to be this beautiful flower wrap around. DMT did it for me. And what I really love about this one is that it's connected to my very first tattoo, my Karmfal tattoo. It's almost as if this flower, this beautiful flower, grew out of all of the life experiences I had and all of like that mashakkat I did again and again and again. This tattoo kind of makes me want to sit back and see what the fuck have I been up to all these years. Like, am I the same person? Have I grown? Where have I grown? And just appreciate the beauty of it. As somebody who always kept saying, I don't like flowers, I don't like flowers, I don't like flowers, I have a few on my body. I think it was just my way of figuring out that I do actually love flowers. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I really want to see you soon. So I will see you soon. Alright, take care. Bye.
East and the west, I'm racking up on my breath, power on me, I'm feeling just like a Tesla. Too much tree, the smoke is making my chest hurt. Girl on me, I'm thinking I should've rest her. Hey, I'm thinking I should've rest.